Hello, my name's Todd Lowdermilk, and I'll be your instructor for this class. I'm an adjunct professor for Germanna Community College, but I also work full-time as a Director of Information Technology for a DoD contractor in Northern Virginia. As for my educational qualifications, I have a master's degree in Management Information Systems from the University of Mary Washington, a Bachelor's of Science in Industrial Technology from Old Dominion University, and 2 associate's degrees from Virginia Highlands Community College. I teach both lecture courses, which are held on campus in more of a traditional setting, and online courses. The benefit of taking online courses are that you can take them from anywhere in the world with an internet connection at a time that's convenient for you. But be warned, you need to be a little bit disciplined and even a little bit tech savvy to guarantee your success in an online class. Anyways, the purpose of this video is to cover some of the more important elements of the syllabus, as well as touch on some of the more challenging issues in most of my classes. Not only will this information make your life a lot easier, but it'll also be something that you'll be tested on along with the actual printed syllabus, so be sure to pay close attention. In terms of contacting me, email is always the best method. If there's an emergency, you can feel free to call me, but I wouldn't advise leaving a voicemail, as I rarely check it. Germanna also has a formal communication policy stating that students absolutely must use their student email and check it regularly, especially for online courses. In terms of response times, I'll do my best to respond to emails within 1 business day. This means if you email me on a Friday afternoon, I'll answer it by the end of the day on Monday. Alternatively, if you email me on a Tuesday, you can expect a response sometime the next day. Whether online or a lecture class, all of my courses require the regular use of student email and Blackboard. In terms of attendance, for lecture classes, I'm not too strict on attendance as long as your work is complete and submitted by the due date. But there is a price to pay in terms of your class participation grade. I regularly conduct in-class activities and use the results to tabulate your participation grade. These activities cannot be made up and require your presence to participate. For online classes, attendance is a non-issue as the class participation is gauged through the use of discussion forums in Blackboard. Each week, it's your job as a student to identify that week's deliverables along with their applicable due dates. I typically give students a full 7 days to submit assignments and discussions. If you're taking one of my online courses, you'll also have a full week to take the quizzes. For lecture classes, we usually have an assignment and a quiz each week. You'll have a full 7 days to submit the assignments, but we'll take any applicable quiz during the first 30 minutes of the class. There will also be a closed book midterm and final examination for lecture class based on the questions in each week's quiz. For online classes, each week you'll have an assignment, a discussion, and a quiz. You'll also be given a full 7 days to complete them and can complete the work from anywhere in the world with an internet connection. There will also be an open book midterm and final exam for my online classes. However, do not wait until the last minute to take exams, because they typically take students an average of 2.5 hours to complete. All assignments must be submitted by their assigned due dates. Once late, they will be subject to a 10-point grade penalty regardless of the reason. Now, very important, all homework, including any makeups for weeks 1 through 7, must be submitted by week 8, that's midterm exam night. All homework and quizzes, including makeups, for weeks 8 through 16 must be submitted by final exam night. Any work not turned in by these deadlines will receive a grade of 0 without exception. There are no makeups for class discussions, as to submit a discussion late would be meaningless because the rest of the class would have moved on by that point. On quizzes, in terms of my online classes, you will need a fairly good excuse to request a makeup. My thoughts on this are that because they are available for a full week, a full 7 days, and they can be taken through Blackboard from anywhere in the world with an internet connection, there must be a really good excuse for a makeup. For my lecture courses, however, just send me an email requesting a makeup along with your reason for missing it. All quizzes for the first half of the semester must be turned in by midnight on midterm exam night. I do allow makeups on the midterm, but the final exam cannot be made up. As many professors do, I have some pet peeves which are fairly simple. If you repeatedly ask me questions about stuff covered in the syllabus or in the assignment text, or get too far ahead or behind, or have excessive makeup requests, you're going to quickly find yourself on my bad side. Now, I'm a little bit unlike most instructors. I typically check Blackboard for submitted assignments twice daily, Monday through Friday. So if I log in and something needs grading, I'll grade it right away and you'll be able to see your results. This means there's a fairly short turnaround on submitted work. As far as incompletes go, I rarely will give an incomplete. See the actual syllabus for more information on Germana's policy on incompletes. Failing grades used to bother me, but then I quickly learned that students earn that failing grade just the same way that students earn a passing grade. If you think for a second I won't fail you, you're sadly mistaken. On the other hand, if you're obviously working hard in the class, completing all your assignments on time, showing up, etc., I'll make every effort to ensure your success. When you log into Blackboard, you'll then need to locate your class. Now, your view is going to look a little bit different than mine, but the site is fairly intuitive, so I have no doubt you can figure it out. So we're going to click on the applicable course, and you'll notice it initially takes you to the announcements page. This is where I post important information regarding the class. You can find everything here from a class cancellation notice to messages reminding the class to do the discussion assignments on time. Now, over to the left, we have our navigation panel. Here we can find the syllabus, and if there is an FAQ or frequently asked questions, it will be there too. We can find course materials such as the PowerPoint presentations or any applicable student data files. We can find information on our faculty member. In this case, it would be me. Also, and perhaps most importantly, we can find our assignments, our discussion board if there is any discussions for the class, and tests and quizzes. These three links right here are your deliverables for the course and should be, an area of primary focus for you. You can also see your grades or request online assistance through the online assistant link. One of the most common issues that crop up in my classes is how to submit an assignment with multiple attachments. So here I'm going to find an assignment, and I'm actually going to attach two separate documents to illustrate how this works. First, I'm going to click the assignment's name to get to a point where I can actually make my submission. Then I'm going to go down to the Browse for Local File button, and I'm going to click it. This will open up a dialog box that will allow you to search the files on your computer and select the ones you want to upload. We're going to choose Week 1 Assignment Part 1. Now once we've done that with the first file, we'll then upload the second file by clicking the Browse for Local File button again. So we click that, and we're going to choose Part 2 this time. I'm going to double click Part 2, and now you'll notice both of the files, Part 1 and Part 2, are there. Now once I'm finished, I just simply scroll down here and I click the Submit button at the bottom of the screen. In a perfect world, you should submit your assignment and the accompanying files without any issues. Unfortunately, we all know that it's not always a perfect world, and this could generate an error. If you get an error, don't panic. Instead, just email me the files explaining to me that you had some issues submitting them through Blackboard. One thing that does seem to work if you repeatedly have this error is to change browsers. As you can see, I'm using WaterFox, which is a version of Firefox. So if you're using this, you close this browser down and open up Internet Explorer and try to get to Blackboard and do it that way. And alternatively, if you're in Internet Explorer, you might want to try to download and use Firefox. And that's pretty much it. Remember, there's no reason to panic if something doesn't work quite the way you think it should. Just email me and we'll get it all worked out. In fact, communication is key in any of my courses. Don't just assume that I know something or skip class repeatedly because Mr. Lowdermilk don't care. I do care, and you will too when grade time comes if you pull that crap. And lastly, every single student can succeed in my classes if they just do the required work and turn everything in by the assigned due dates. It's really just as simple as that. So that's it, students. With the help of this video, along with your applicable courses syllabus, you too can go from syllabus to success. Any day.